Let's go, it's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show.
Nice Contract actually has kind of a cool twist to the regular old story. Basically, that's right, basically, there's these witches. And no, they're not here to kill the humans, they're here to protect them. But since they get betrayed by some asshole, and they make to look like they're the actual evil creatures of the world and they're, destroying us, they are put to execution. They are killed, and they basically are labeled as the people that are destroying mankind. So it is basically a frame job. And then they come back because they're pissed, they want revenge, and they got their head chopped off for absolutely no reason. It actually is a pretty decent story. I would say it drags on a little too much in the dialogue, and you feel like, just get to the effing point already. But that's what most games that have fucking cutscenes that last more than 10 minutes. Let's be honest. However, at least you get a detailed story, not one that's just shoved together and it's basically kill, kill, kill. Well, it kind of is, but it has more of a story and more of a bond between the two main characters. I also like that the voice acting isn't horrible, and I was expecting it to be pretty bad. It actually isn't, and overall, the story will probably keep you interested throughout. It's not the greatest story, and I thought the conclusion could have been better, but overall, it does the job, and it's actually an interesting story, whereas I thought it was just going to be another crappy fantasy, destroy the world and defeat the big evil guy.
You witches came to heal the afflicted. We laid the blame on you and had you arrested.
That's right.
The graphics are probably the weakest part of the game. Besides the level with the hair, I would say most of these levels are actually pretty boring. And there's some pretty bad level design. The ice level was stupid. I get what it was going for and trying to confuse you, and all that. But no, it was a bad level. Very bad level design, in my opinion. The power of the graphics are definitely not the worst I've seen. And some of the specials look absolutely awesome. But for the most part, they can definitely use some work, and most of the models for the creatures are kind of crappy. But when we talk about graphical design, I think this game definitely has an upper hand here. It actually looks different. It looks cool. It gives me a mix of Western and Japanese art, which I actually like. So overall, I did enjoy the graphical side of the game and the look of it, except for the environments. But I would say the power of the graphics definitely can use some work. The gameplay section is your standard action game. You go up, you slash the shit out of an enemy, X and Y to do most of the attacks. You could do some platforming in the game, and there's very, very few puzzles, but overall, it gives you that action feel of the game. It feels like, Devil May Cry, God of War, Darksiders, you get the idea. What it does, try to make it different, is basically you have your companion, the witch. And you think it's like, oh, it's going to be an escort game. In reality, it's not even close to an escort game. This witch can take her own amount of damage, and quite a lot of it. On top of that, she gives you these powers, which basically will mix your sword attacks with magic. So overall, it's pretty cool to do these different magic attacks. However, you only get 4 of them, plus 2, 1 far range and 1 scythe attack. But overall, you only get like 4 attacks, and that's kind of weak in my opinion. I wanted more. I wanted to do more attacks, blah blah blah, show off these cool skills. It definitely doesn't give you the amount that Nier gives you. It's basically just very few specials. I would call them specials. So overall, I was expecting more from that, but it does separate it from every other action game, and most of these spells look pretty cool and work well combining your attacks with them. What works and what doesn't in this game? Well, the action actually works. It's easy to play. You just basically slashing through enemies. It's very hack and slash, and the specials work. What doesn't work in the game? Well, it doesn't really try enough new, to be honest. It kind of feels boring after a while. I get that it's trying to stick to the hack and slash genre, and it does that well. But really, it doesn't try to escalate. You really don't unlock that many new moves as you go on. you really don't combine your combos all that much. It's basically slash slash and then do a special. You see what I mean? What is cool and what's not cool about the bosses is one thing, what is cool is they're actually pretty fun to fight and they can be pretty challenging. What's not cool, the quick time events. A lot of people hate them because basically if you fuck up, you're going to have to restart all the way back. Not from the beginning, but basically midway. It's a pain in the ass if you fuck up the quick time events, and for some people, people just hate quick time events. I don't blame you. I personally enjoy them. I didn't find them very hard in this game. I only messed up like once or twice. Overall, they're very easy and fun to do. For some people, though, I could see them hating them, and this game would be a chore to play against the bosses. So the bosses can be a good thing and a bad thing. They're fun to fight, and they're actually challenging, but they could be very, very, very annoying at the end of the fight because you have to do a quick time event to kill them. I had a pretty good time playing Knight's Contract. It lasted me all of 8 hours. Yeah, I think a little less. I think it was like 7:37 or something like that. But it was actually a pretty fun game, I'm not going to lie. I had a good time playing it. Just the whole time I felt like little things here, little things there. It really could have been the next Darksiders for me. Instead, it was a good game, but you could do better type of game. It's definitely worth the rent if you want to try out a different game and you like the art design. Then I would definitely suggest renting it, and even going through the interesting story is pretty fun. I wouldn't say it's the biggest surprise of this year. Near to me was, wow, this game is actually pretty damn good. I was expecting shit. This game is, wow, has no expectations. I heard it was 2.5 out of 10 from IGN. I played it, and I actually thought it was a lot better than IGN thinks, but it's still not a great game. I would suggest renting it for all action fans. If you want to buy it, wait till it's cheaper. If you're not an action fan or you get bored of hack and slash pretty fast, this game is probably not going to change your mind. Overall, it's a good game. But in the end, in your mind, you'll probably be thinking, wow, there's little things that could make it better.